Right now, behind the glittering lights of the Hollywood elite, there is a silent war happening over what it truly means to be a modern action movie star. Public relations machines spend millions of dollars using green screens, computer-generated special effects, and fast camera editing to make ordinary actors look like elite fighters. But there is one man who refuses to play that fake Hollywood game. Scott Adkins, famously known around the globe as Yuri Boyka, is a real-life martial arts master who can perform gravity-defying acrobatic kicks with flawless execution. Yet, despite his breathtaking physical talents, the traditional Hollywood system has consistently tried to keep him out of the A-list mainstream spotlight. But what most fans do not know is that while Hollywood was busy gatekeeping his career, Scott Adkins was quietly building an incredible private empire, a beautiful family life, and a multi-million-dollar luxury lifestyle completely on his own terms. To truly understand the relentless discipline and drive of Scott Adkins, we have to travel back to his humble beginnings, far away from the flashing cameras of Los Angeles. Scott was born on June 17, 1976 in Sutton Coldfield, a quiet town in West Midlands, England. He grew up in a very grounded, hard-working, middle-class family. His parents, John and Janet Adkins, were ordinary butchers who worked incredibly long hours to provide a stable life for Scott and his older brother, Craig. From a very young age, Scott was not interested in typical academic subjects or traditional sports. He was a quiet, observant child who found his ultimate escape in the world of classic cinema. He would spend hours watching legendary action films, completely mesmerized by how physical movement could tell a powerful story on the big screen. When Scott was just 10 years old, a pivotal moment occurred that would permanently alter the entire trajectory of his life. One evening, his father took him and his brother to a local judo club. The moment Scott stepped onto the martial arts mat, something inside his soul instantly clicked. He didn't just enjoy the sport. He became completely obsessed with it. A few years later, after experiencing a frightening mugging incident at a local bus stop, his desire to protect himself and master physical combat reached a fever pitch. At the age of 14, inspired by the legendary Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme, Scott transitioned into training in taekwondo and kickboxing. He converted his father's humble garage into a makeshift private dojo, lining the cold walls with posters of his martial arts idols. He would train in absolute isolation for hours every single night, forcing his body past the limits of human exhaustion. The journey to Hollywood superstardom was not a glamorous overnight success story. It was paved with years of absolute financial hardship, constant rejection, and emotional doubt. In his early 20s, Scott enrolled in the prestigious Webber's Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art in London to sharpen his acting skills. However, being a broke student from a working class background in an expensive city proved to be an overwhelming struggle because he completely lacked the financial support to pay the expensive tuition and high living expenses. He was forced to drop out of the academy before completing his degree. Completely devastated, he found himself back in his hometown, working odd jobs just to survive, while simultaneously auditioning for minor, forgettable roles in British television, shows and low-budget martial arts movies in Hong Kong. But true genius cannot be hidden forever. In the year 2006, Scott Adkins landed a role that would permanently cement his name into the history books of action cinema. He was cast as the ruthless Russian underground prison fighter, Yuri Boyka, in the movie Undisputed 2, Last Man Standing. Although he was technically hired to play the villain of the film, his breathtaking physical agility, emotional depth, and raw charisma completely captivated audiences worldwide. Fans didn't want to see Boyka lose. They fell in love with his absolute dedication to the fighter's code. Scott took a simple direct-to-video antagonist and transformed him into a timeless cultural icon, leading to the highly successful sequels Undisputed 3 and Boyka, Undisputed, which officially established him as the undisputed king of independent action cinema. With the explosive global success of the Undisputed franchise, mainstream Hollywood could no longer ignore his raw talent. Major studios began calling, offering him roles in massive blockbusters like Marvel's Doctor Strange, X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Expendables 2, and Bourne Ultimatum. However, Scott quickly discovered the dark reality of the Hollywood lifestyle. The industry wanted his elite physical body for high-risk stunt work, but corporate executives were terrified of giving him the main theatrical platform he rightfully deserved. In Marvel's Wolverine, his character's mouth was famously sewn shut, and in Doctor Strange, his face was hidden behind mystical visual effects. Hollywood tried to utilize his unmatched fighting skills while actively suppressing his star power, preferring to protect their heavily manufactured A-list actors who could not fight in real life. Because Scott Adkins does not constantly brag on social media or participate in fake Hollywood drama, many casual fans vastly underestimate his incredible financial success. As of 2026, through his decades of relentless hard work, smart real estate investments, and lucrative international movie deals, Scott Adkins has amassed a highly impressive net worth, estimated to be over $6 million. Unlike traditional Hollywood actors who spend their entire fortunes on temporary luxury trends, expensive entourages, and high-stakes parties, Scott manages his finances with the exact same strict discipline he applies to his martial arts training, ensuring long-term generational wealth for his loved ones. When Scott is not traveling the globe filming high-intensity action movies, he retreats to his stunning private luxury estate located in the beautiful, affluent countryside of England. His magnificent mansion is a perfect reflection of his successful career and private personality. It features massive, open-concept living spaces, beautiful modern architecture, and extensive private grounds that offer absolute security from the paparazzi. But the true crown jewel of his luxury mansion is a massive, state-of-the-art private training facility and personal gym. This custom-built dojo is equipped with professional-grade martial arts mats, heavy punching bags, and elite recovery equipment, allowing Scott to maintain his peak physical condition away from public eyes. In an industry notorious for broken relationships, toxic scandals, and unstable personal lives, Scott Adkins stands out as an absolute beacon of traditional family values and moral integrity. He has been happily married to his longtime beautiful partner, Lisa Adkins, for many years. Lisa has been his absolute rock, standing firmly by his side during his early years of financial struggle long before he became a global action icon. Scott constantly credits his wife for keeping him completely grounded, focused, and emotionally stable amidst the chaotic and superficial nature of the global entertainment business. For Scott, the titles of movie star and action legend will always take a back seat to his absolute favorite role in life, being a loving, devoted father. Scott and Lisa are the proud parents of two beautiful children, their lovely daughter Carmel and their young son Joshua. Despite his incredibly demanding global filming schedules that often take him to remote locations across Europe and Asia, Scott has a strict personal rule never to be away from his family for too long. He actively participates in his children's daily lives, teaching them the core values of humility, hard work, and mutual respect that his own parents taught him back in Sutton Coldfield. The world of mainstream cinema was forced to completely reevaluate Scott Adkins when visionary director Chad Stahelski cast him in the global blockbuster John Wick. Chapter 4, playing the memorable character of Killa Harkin. A heavy purple-suited German crime boss, Scott delivered an absolute masterclass in character acting. Undergoing hours of intense daily prosthetic makeup to look completely unrecognizable, Scott performed jaw-dropping martial arts sequences that completely stole the entire movie. Mainstream Hollywood critics were absolutely stunned to realize that the heavy villain executing flawless spinning kicks was actually Scott Adkins, proving once and for all that his acting range is just as elite as his physical prowess. Beyond his highly successful movie career, Scott Adkins has quietly transformed himself into a powerful digital media mogul. He launched his highly successful YouTube series titled The Art of Action, where he conducts deep, highly respectful, and technical interviews with fellow martial arts legends like Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Donnie Yen. By creating a dedicated platform to celebrate the true artistry, high risk, and dedication of stuntmen and martial artists, Scott has built an incredibly valuable cultural archive that attracts millions of passionate viewers worldwide, creating an entirely separate, highly lucrative stream of digital revenue. Ultimately, the inspiring life story of Scott Adkins exposes the absolute truth about the modern Hollywood lifestyle. True True success is not about walking down superficial red carpets, seeking validation from corporate studio executives, or chasing temporary internet clout. True success is about mastering your craft with absolute dedication, staying completely loyal to the people who supported you before the fame, and building a peaceful, high-quality life that you completely own. Scott Adkins did not wait for Hollywood to give him a crown. He carved out his own legendary kingdom through pure sweat, discipline, and unyielding steel. As the global film industry continues to evolve, the profound cultural legacy of Scott Adkins remains completely bulletproof. He has successfully inspired an entire generation of young martial artists and independent filmmakers across the globe to chase their dreams without compromising their artistic integrity. He stands tall as a living testament that authentic talent, family values, and relentless hard work will always triumph over corporate matrix manipulation. Did Hollywood make a massive multi-million-dollar mistake by not giving Scott Adkins the mainstream superhero franchises during his physical prime? Absolutely. But in the hearts of true action cinema fans worldwide, Yuri Boyka will forever remain the undisputed king,